Hello, Trevor Cutmore here. It's Monday and time for my next video. This week I'm going to be talking about something that I've just done with the Buy, Refurbish, Refinance mentoring program. With the people I'm working on there, we went away just the other day together to a town, travelled down to the south coast, and we spent the whole day going into agents and looking for properties that we could add value to. We also looked to see if we could do a option deal through the agent to the vendor. And so that was quite an interesting one. I'm not really going to go into how to do that, but this video is how to work with estate agents. Now, the very start of the journey of people when they go into property investment is that obviously you must use estate agents. And I think, being honest with you, I think there must be about 80% of properties on the market are going to be with an estate agent. 20% there'll be some in auction, there'll be some direct to vendor that you can get hold of, and some of the online stuff, obviously, which I include as estate agents, is people like the Purple Bricks and etc. And obviously there are some deal sources, and those deal sources sometimes get some very good things, but just wherever it comes from, whether it's a deal sourcer, whether it's estate agent, you are responsible to do your numbers and to work out if it's a good deal or not. Look, especially when you first come into property, sometimes you just need some help in getting the right numbers. I see a lot of people coming in and they miss so much off. They really do. When they're calculating, especially, it might be as simple as not having a figure in there for voids and maintenance, things like this. So make sure, especially when you're starting, that you get your numbers right. It's fairly simple. Income versus expenditure gives you a profit. Calculate that up to 12 months. Divide that profit by the amount of money that you put in. Then you're going to see the return that you're getting on your investment. Okay, so how do you get the best out of an estate agent, especially ones which are difficult to work with? So look, I want to tell you a little story before we really get going. And that is that some investors, a couple of ladies, paid for half a day of my time, which I went down into Canada Water, and we came out of the tube station, and the very first agent that was, when we came out, I started to walk towards, and these two ladies said to me, no, Trevor, let's not go in there, they're terrible, they're really bad service. Now that to me is like a red flag to a bull. And I said, no, we have to go in there now. Because remember, at the point that even an agent gets a bad reputation and people are not going in there, that means they've got less customers. That means it increases your chance of getting a great deal. Plus, if you can befriend and turn these agents to work for you, then it has to be a good thing. This has to be really, really powerful for you. So please, rule number one is go after the agents that people don't like. Okay, it's a massive thing. And a lot of what we're going to do today, very briefly, it's just sort of headline stuff for you, because you don't want to be on this video all day. But what we did is that when we arrived, this mentorship group, who are doing so well, by the way, they're buying properties. Some of them are buying not just one, but 2 and 3 properties, and they've all done that within this program in about 6 weeks, and we're into a 6-month program. If you're interested, just contact me and I'll tell you more about it. But we went into this area. I sat down with them and I said, okay, so what we're going to do is that we're not just going to go and look at estate agents and go in, but the challenge is to stay there and to get involved with the agents. So they start talking, have a conversation. You can find out local information. You can find out what's there, what's moving, the economy, loads of stuff. So it was interesting because we all took it in turns. So we, put them in teams and they went off, and there were quite a few agents there. But what was really interesting, even the very first one that we went into, they try to get rid of us in one go. Said, no, we haven't got anything, nothing's available, that's it. And they really didn't want to speak. So I'm sure that many of you have experienced this, that the agent is very short, they don't want to have any more because they've got their own list of investors, and this is the challenge. How do you deal with a no? How do you deal with the close down, get out of my place, I don't want another investor, especially one who's been watching some of those programs and come in and say, I'm a property investor. And as a side note, if you're walking into an estate agent, you want to invest in property, even if it's your home, you are a property investor. So you don't always have to announce yourself as a property investor, okay? But that comes with time. You'll understand what I'm saying there. But dealing with no's and going past that first barrier is what people find the hardest, honestly, in my opinion. So so many people will go in and say, well, I've been to 10 estate agents. Well, how long have you spent in there? 2 minutes. The idea is you're going to spend 15, 20 minutes, if not more, in there. And if they actually make you a cup of tea, you're winning, okay? So the whole thing is to listen to what they're saying and then ask the right questions. So the brief was to ask for properties which can do with uplifting, so looking for flips. The other thing is that we can move in cash. So that's a really important thing. Now, if you can't move in cash, then one of your targets should be to find investors who can. Because obviously if you're going into a estate agent, it sounds like you're going to be more deal sourcing. So you should have a group of investors ready. And if you have strong relationships with them, you should be saying to one or two of them, say, look, the thing that will help me move quicker is so I can speak to them and say, I'm associated with you, and would you be able to supply them a bank statement if I ask for, if it's a great one. Now, it's quite easy for them to do that, take a snap picture, send it to them. They've got their GDPR statement and privacy policy. If you got that from the estate agent, send that to your investor, they're going to have a bit more confidence in where they're sending that information. But this is a very powerful place to get you, okay? So once you can say, although some ask you straight away, which I would say, if you haven't got it, even if when you have it, you would say, I can supply that, but let's have a look at what deals you've got. So get them working. Anytime they ask you, the challenge for something, the challenge is to turn it back to them and get them to work for you. So as we were doing this, and obviously I'm mentoring people, so I led by the front and went and did it first, showed them how to do it, and then they went to do each property, and I'm with them, I'm at the back, I'm just watching, and I'm looking at how they deal with the objections. Say, no, there's nothing, the market's not moving, or we only deal with investors with cash, we've got a list of them, and how are you going to overcome that? And that's the interesting thing. So anything that they overcome, you can start to say, we can move in cash, we can move very quickly, we have our own teams that can work, and we'd be looking to sell it back through you. So can you see, everything is a benefit to them. We can move quickly, we have our own teams, and we want to sell it back through the agent. These tips are the things which is music to their ear. All of a sudden, they're starting to respond to you. The other thing, if you don't know the area, it's great to give the estate agent a place of superiority. So what do? You say, well, listen, can you tell me where should I not invest? So I can tell you, I've got a picture. They had a map on the wall, and the guy went up there and he said, right, this is where you don't want to invest. So I take a picture of it. So I said, okay, where's the best place to invest? And so they start saying, well, we've got some regeneration going on here, and they're doing this, and this has been absolutely brilliant. They're building over here, and however, these flats here are the place to get, or these houses in this particular area, and it puts it on the map. I take another picture of it. I've got two pictures. The first, where not to invest. The second, the best place to invest, where I get the best rents, the best capital growth. And this is important. Look, you must know what you want before you go in. Don't ask them, have you got any deals? When they hear you say that phrase, they turn in their boots, they quake, they think, not another one. And this is the truth. Not another one who's been on a one-day course, or they've watched the program, have you got any deals? It makes them cringe. Okay, you're looking for properties that you can invest in to flip. You're looking for properties which are run down. It doesn't matter how bad they are, I'd love to see them. And you're also looking for properties that have stuck around on your books which are just not moving, especially the ones that you can add value to. So look, all these things are really, really important. How quick you can move. Timing is very important. Timing is money. Remember, agents make their money from sales. So when you can say you can move quickly, which you should be able to, that's music to their ears. Okay? So look, qualifying with bank statements, massive. Puts you right up there next to the people who have already bought with that agent, because buying through an agent qualifies you. And if you bought through an agent, you should go back there and get them working for you, because you qualified yourself. All of a sudden, you're at a different level to other people walking through those doors. And they want, because you've made the money. So they understand now that this person's done it, it comes back, we get another one because he completes or she completes. Your availability to view is important. If you're out of area and they ring you on a Monday and you can't get there till Saturday, that's not great. You might look at using a service which is services online that you can contact, or try to find somebody in the area. So if you are living in London, you're going to Liverpool, then you should, when you go to Liverpool, go to a PIN meeting or a PPN meeting, a property network meeting. You should meet people there. You should meet your tradesman there. You should meet the host of it there. And then if someone comes up and says, look, I've got a property on Monday, you say, well, listen, let me ring you back in 20 minutes. And you ring. You might ring the builder. You might ring a contact that you made. You get them to go around, walk around with a video, talking to you. You take 10 minutes out, and on FaceTime or whatever you're going to use on Skype, you just walk around and you can ask questions. Important. These are the tips. All right. So whatever barriers is to get overcome, and that will help you. Last one, the golden rule, and that is to make an offer on every single viewing. I mean it. So look, every viewing has potential. Now, this is a very tricky one. You can't just do a throwaway, I'll give you 200,000 for it. You've got to make them work and to get that price out of you. Look, I suppose you want me to make an offer. I would love you to. But this particular one, I'm not that interested. I'd buy it at a price, but it's probably not the price that you want. What would that price be? Well, and then you apologise your way until they say, look, okay, I understand it. Okay, great, what is it? And that will be somewhere 25, 30% below. I can tell you about a month ago, I offered 50% value of the property. Why? Because there had been some movement, significant movement that other people hadn't seen. I made the estate agent aware of that, and I left them with that offer. But the thing is, when they know that they can get an offer from you, they like you. All right, it might not be always what they want, but I offer my way and to deals, and that's it. Okay. Look, I hope that you've enjoyed this. How to get the best from the estate agent, how to recognise, and how to overcome some of those no's, and the importance of staying in that agency and spend time so you can learn about their knowledge, about the local community, about where to invest, where not to invest, and this will empower you on your journey. Look, thank you very much for coming on here and watching. If you like it, I'd love you to do a comment. I'd love you to subscribe and share and tell other people about this channel, and ask them to subscribe and tell their friends too. Look, if you're interested in training that I've got coming up every month now, I'm with Cashflow-Freedom, and we are training on lease options 1 month, buy, refurb, refinance another month, and that's mirrored together with Leslie Tao, who's doing rent to rent and rent to service accommodation. I do touch on some development stuff as well, because I'm building houses. If you're interested in any of that or our 6-month mentorship programs, please just drop me an email. I'd love to hear from you. I wish you a great week and a great property journey. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.